The topic of the talk today is Vedic Yoga, Devi Evam Adhyatma Vigyan. In this I will highlight on the Advaita Vedanta side and its possible applications, though logically there is no application in Advaita Vedanta because it's total monism. I start with Guru Vandana, Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwara, Guru Sakshat Parabrahma, Tasmai Shri Guruve Namah. I bow down to my Diksha Guru, Swami Bhuteshananji Maharaj, who was 12th President of Ramakrishna Math and Ramakrishna Mission at Velur Math. And today I will focus also on Bhagavad Gita, though I will talk about Prasantraya, which is Bhagavad Gita, Upanishads and Brahma Sutra. Now, Bhagavad Gita, though it is a part of Mahabharata, and Upanishads, they are part of Vedas, and Brahma Sutra, they are independent, written by Ved Vyasji. I'll talk a little bit about them, and I will also start with Isavasyopanishad Shanti Path, Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. It means that all this is Purna, Purnata, and even if it has come from Purnata, the Purnata of this is not diminished. It is still Purna. Now, Swami Vivekananda classified, though Yoga, the entire Bhagavad Gita has 18 chapters, and each chapter is some Yoga. So, broad meaning of Yoga is the union of Atman and Brahman, realization of that union. And any path towards that is one yoga. Though Hatha Yoga, which ordinarily people say it is yoga, that is only one part of entire Ashtanga Yoga of Patanjali, which is asana and pranayam. And now Swami Vivekananda classified the entire Yoga Shastra in 4 divisions: Bhakti Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Karma Yoga and Raj Yoga. Raj Yoga deals with meditation, which is culminating from asana and pranayam and pratyahar, and Karma Yoga is a yoga which very few people think is a very great path to union with Brahman, the God. And Sri Aurobindo talked about all the yogas combined as Samagra Yoga, integral yoga. And in any particular person, depending upon his innate tendency, English already? English.
Yeah, you can continue in language.
Sri Aurobindo, he talked about Samagra Yoga. Samagra Yoga is integrating all the 4 yogas I have mentioned above, because each person or sadhak has innate tendency which is divided into all these 4 classes, and depending upon the innate tendency, he is a Rajogi partly, Karma Yogi partly, Bhakti Yogi partly, and Karma Yogi partly. The definition of Vigyan, as we understand today, is very wide, and the widest definition is given by Sri Ramakrishna Paramahansa, the spiritual master of Swami Vivekananda. He said that Vigyan is attained, realized after Brahmagyan, after the final realization of Atman and Brahman union. This is Vigyan. And what is Vigyan? Vigyan is application of Brahmagyan in Vyavaharik life, in practical life. And Dharma or Divyata, for this, Swami Vivekananda said, religion is the manifestation of divinity already in man. Divinity is Divyata. We should talk about Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita, the meaning of Bhagavad Gita is the divine song. Gita is Geet, Bhagavad is divine. So the entire Bhagavad Gita is a divine song, and it is quoted by all the authors, all the Shastriyas, all the people for justifying their sadhana and their path. Let me mention here about J. Krishnamurti, who was a great philosopher and teacher, and he started his schools, one school in Varanasi, one school in Andhra, and now two more schools, one in Bangalore and Madras. He said, truth is a pathless land. There is no path for realizing truth. And he decried the Guru-Shishya relationship, he decried Bhagavad Gita, all these traditional methods he decried. And he was a Brahmagyani, he was a Purnagyani, no doubt. But he just got that state and he told people about how to get to that state. He didn't tell about how to, but he told about you have to reach there. And he focuses on mind, processes of the mind. Now Shankaracharya in his Nirvana Shatkam he says, Mano buddhi hankara chittani naham, na cha shrotra jivve, na cha ghrana netre, na chavyo mumir na teyo na vayur, chidananda rupa shivoham shivom. So in the Dvait mode, Shankaracharya says that I am neither man, nor buddhi, nor ego, nothing of these. So he talks about mindless state. And Krishnamurti talks about process of the mind. Now in this conflict, we come to this conclusion that whatever appeals to a sadhak, whatever path, whatever way, whatever even religion or a sect or a guru appeals to him, non-guru also, that is fine with him. This thing was enunciated very clearly by Ramakrishna Paramahansa. He practiced in his life all major sects and all major religions, and he exhibited that they lead to one final state of mind, which is samadhi. Most of the time he was in samadhi, and because of this he was considered to be the greatest avatars of all times, and his followers consider him avatar. Now, Dharma, broad definition of Dharma, Swami Vivekananda said that religion is the manifestation of divinity already in man. Divinity is there, already there in us, and we have to get to that fountain of divinity and manifest it by any established path or any path told by his guru or by himself. Now, need of a guru is, in my opinion, in my experience, is very essential. Though J. Krishnamurti ji denied this, but most of us, Kabir Das ji said that Guru bin kaun batave बाट बड़ा विकट यम घाट. ये यम का घाट इतना विकट है कि बिना गुरु के इसमें रास्ता पाना मुश्किल है. मैंने भी इसको देखा. I also saw this, and so religion I have talked about and divinity I have talked about. Now Adhyatma, what is Adhyatma? In Gita, Bhagavan talks about Adhyatma. Arjuna asks him question, Adhyatma kya hai? Like that. One chapter starts with that. I am not a very great Pandit of Bhagavad Gita, so I may not give exact reference which chapter and which shloka. But Swami Vivekananda also said that being great and doing great is the gist of all religions, is the whole of religion. Do it by any way. You have to be great, you have to do great work, and whatever religion, whatever sect, whatever path appeals to you, your innate tendency, that is the way. Now let me talk about Advait Vedanta. Vedanta is the Ant of Veda. Why? What is Ant of Vedas? Vedas have three parts. One is prayer part, one is Karmakand part, and one is knowledge part. The knowledge part of Vedas is Upanishads. Upanishads are about around 10 major Upanishads, and after the total number of Upanishads are more than 100. Ishavasya Upanishad I have told about, and Kenopanishad says that that which cannot be comprehended by mind and that provides the mind its power to comprehend, know that to be Brahman. Brahman is the ultimate reality of God. And in Hindi it is मन जिसका चिंतन नहीं कर सकता, किंतु जो मन को चिंतन करने की शक्ति प्रदान करता है उसी को तुम ब्रह्म जानो. It is Kenopanishad. Now this is put on the walls of our new Vishwanath temple of BHU, in one of the walls. And now Advaita Vedanta, I particularly feel that without going to Advaita, there is no way. Though there are three major disciplines, Advaita Vedanta, Vishishta Advaita Vedanta and Dvaita Vedanta. Shankaracharya was a great proponent of Advaita. His main work is Vivek Chudamani, which is a very good Sanskrit and easily readable. And Vishishta Advaita was by Ramanujacharya and Dvaita by Madhvacharya. Now, for Advaita, apart from Vivek Chudamani, other great sources are Yoga Vasishtha, Avadut Gita, and Ashtavakra Samhita or Ashtavakra Gita. These are very great books which one must know and read to come to state of Advaita. Now, Vishishta Advaita is like we are a part of the whole. We are divine, part of the great divine, that is divinity, that is God. So, that is Vishishta Advaita. Most of the devotees, they follow Vishishta Advaita because Advaita cannot be followed. Advaita is something that cannot be worked upon. Advaita is just a state of being. Now, Dvaita is I and God. I am separate, God is separate, and I am a das of God or Sakha of God, worshipping Him. Now, I personally believe in, live in Advaita, and I try to develop a discipline called Prayukt Advaita. How to apply Advaita? Though theoretically we cannot apply Advaita, but if I believe in Advaita and if I am living, then I should be able to use it in my practical life. My guru, he used to say that religion is no good if it cannot give you results, positive results, right in this very life. We don't have to go to the next life to get the fruits of this life. So all religions are there. If they are practiced rightly, you will be getting a direction for happiness, for peace, for positivity. Bhagavad Gita talks about this in all the chapters, all the pathas, and all of these three people, Advaita, Vishishta Advaita, and Dvaita people, they take recourse to Bhagavad Gita only. It's a great, strange work and teachings of God, the ultimate God, in the form of Sri Krishna, and on the field of battle. And it is the ultimate guide for everyone. Gandhiji, Malviyaji, Vinobaji, great monks, Madhusudan Acharya maybe, Sridhar Swami, all these were great exponents of Bhagavad Gita. Shankaracharya, Shankaracharya has written a Bhashya on Bhagavad Gita. Now, when one realizes the self is Atman. When one gets Atmanubhuti, comes to the highest state, there are four expressions out of him. Aham Brahmasmi, I am Brahman. Second way of saying is Sarvam Khalvidam Brahma, sab jagah Brahmi hai. Third way is Tattvamasi. Guru tells the disciple that you are that. What is that? That is Brahman. What is you? Atman. Atman is same as Brahman. Now, in Sufi mystics language, it is called Anal Haq. I am that. Anal Haq is the Sufi mystics expression of realization. And Buddha, let's talk about little bit about Buddha. Buddha did not believe in Brahman. He did not believe in any God. He said that wheel of karma is going on and we are miserable in life. To get rid of this misery, we have to follow eightfold way of Buddha, and we have to come to Nirvana. Nirvana is moksha or samadhi. Now, Vedic darshan, Bhagavad Gita is though not part of Vedas, but it is complete Vedic darshan. In the name of Shastras, you may take only Bhagavad Gita. It's the best guidebook in life. I follow one shloka in Bhagavad Gita. Bhakti Yoga is 12th chapter, or it is a chapter of 20 shlokas. And 17th shloka of that chapter, Bhakti Yoga, is Yo na hishyati, na dveshti, na shochati, na tankshati, shubha shubha parityagi, bhakti manya same priya. It means the person who is not highly happy, he does not feel highly elated, nor he न द्वेष्टि न किसी से दोष करता द्वेष रखता हो, nor he is having bad feelings about anyone, न सोचती, not anxious, doesn't have anxiety, न कांक्षति, वो आकांक्षा भी नहीं करता, न कांक्षति, शुभाशुभ परित्यागी, जिसने शुभ और अशुभ दोनों का परित्याग कर दिया हो, renounce good and bad both, वो भक्त मुझे प्रिय है. The God says. जो टाइम बता देना. Now coming to mathematical logic, since it is for modern.
We have 25 minutes up. 3.
In mathematical logic, we have a term called oracle factor. Oracle factor is uncertainty factor, which may be taken as God's will. So one has to, we may talk about this in a later message. So I stop here. Thank you very much for giving this chance to speak to you about my experiences, my knowledge of the Vedic Shastras in Devi and Adhyatmic science.